where gods play games and heroes are punished for dreaming. This is Gorgon Tales. Before the fall, there was glory. Before Pegasus, there was blood. Bellerophon's story does not begin in triumph, but in silence, the silence after a man has killed. He was born of nobility, the son of Poseidon and immortal queen of Corinth. Handsome, strong, and favored by the gods, he was meant for greatness. But fate twisted early. While still young, Bellerophon spilled a man's blood, accidentally, or so the songs claim. Perhaps it was a hunting mishap. Perhaps pride flared too hot in a duel. The gods know, but Bellerophon did not speak of it. He only ran. Exile followed. Under sacred law, even noble blood must pay for killing. So he fled to Tiryns, a city ruled by King Pegasus, seeking purification. And for a time, it seemed he would be redeemed. But the gods were not finished weaving his fate. In Pegasus' palace, Bellerophon caught the eye of the queen, Sthenibia, a woman of ambition and desire. When Bellerophon rejected her advances, her admiration curdled into vengeance. Shelit. She told Pegasus that the foreign guest had tried to seduce her, perhaps worse. The king seethed, but feared to break the sacred laws of hospitality by killing a guest outright. So instead, he sent Bellerophon to Lycia, to his father-in-law King Iobates, bearing a sealed letter. A letter that read, "This man has dishonored my house. Kill him." In Lycia, Bellerophon was greeted with feasts and wine, treated as a hero. For 9 days, Iobates delayed, bound by tradition, unsure how to kill a man so favored by the gods. At last, he chose not to act by hand, but by impossible command. He summoned Bellerophon and said, "There is a beast ravaging the land. The people call it the Chimera. Go, slay it, if you are truly a hero." The Chimera. A monster born from nightmare. Lion's head, goat's body, serpent's tail, fire-breathing, and deathless. It had devoured soldiers, torched fields, and made even kings tremble. Bellerophon listened. He did not flinch. He asked one question. "Where can I find Pegasus?" You see, Bellerophon did not fear monsters, but he knew he'd need wings to kill one. The gods do not give freely. What they offer in dreams, they reclaim in blood. Bellerophon had the bridle of Athena and the wings of Pegasus beneath him, but he was flying toward a monster that even kings would not name aloud. The Chimera waited in the mountains of Lycia, a beast of 3 souls and 1 rage, born from Echidna, mother of monsters. It was not just a lion or a goat or a serpent. It was all 3, fused in madness, burning with divine fire. No army could approach it. No blade could stop it. But Bellerophon would try what no mortal dared. He would strike from the sky. Above the clouds, Pegasus soared, silver wings slicing through the wind. Below them, valleys burned where the Chimera had passed. Crops were ash, bones were blackened. The people hid in caves, whispering of gods and punishment. Then they saw him, a man on a winged horse, riding toward death like a comet of fate. Bellerophon circled above the beast. The Chimera roared, flames spilling from its lion's mouth, its serpent tail snapping skyward, its goat head snarling curses from the underbelly. Pegasus dove. The first strike was fast, a javelin to the shoulder, but it bounced off the monster's hide. The Chimera roared in fury and flame, the air itself catching fire around them. Bellerophon pulled back. This would not be won by steel. He thought, remembered Athena's wisdom, not just her weapons. Then came the idea, fire meets fire. He tied a block of lead to his neck spear and aimed straight at the lion's throat, the mouth of the flames. Pegasus dove once more, fearless. The Chimera opened its jaws to incinerate them. At that moment, Bellerophon hurled the lead-tipped spear deep into the beast's throat. The Chimera's fire melted the metal instantly, and the molten lead poured into its lungs. The beast screamed, choked, and convulsed. And then, silence. The Chimera collapsed, smoke rising from its corpse. The sky, once black with fear, turned still. The mountain stopped trembling. Bellerophon had done the impossible. He had slain a creature that the gods themselves had birthed. He did not land for praise. He did not kneel for reward. He simply flew back to King Iobates, dragging the Chimera's head behind him, proof that he was not a pawn to be sacrificed, but a force to be reckoned with. There is a moment in every hero's life when applause becomes silence. And in that silence, something darker speaks. Bellerophon had conquered all. He had slain the Chimera, crushed raiders, defeated warrior tribes, and returned from every mission the gods, or kings, sent against him. He no longer walked. He flew, mounted on Pegasus, a living symbol of divine favor. In Lycia, the people sang his name like prayer. In the courts, kings whispered it with fear. King Iobates, once his would-be executioner, now begged for his favor, offering him his daughter's hand and naming him heir to the throne. Even Sthenibia, the queen who had once accused him, fell silent in disgrace. Bellerophon had everything. And yet, it wasn't enough. He looked to the sky, the home of the immortals, and a terrible thought took root. Why walk among men, he mused, when I have conquered beasts and gods alike? He began to believe that Olympus was his by right, that his blood, his triumphs, his pain had earned him a seat beside Zeus. And so he prepared to ascend, not in death, but in glory. He saddled Pegasus beneath a sky red with dusk and turned toward the mountain that no mortal had ever touched. Olympus loomed above the clouds like a silent challenge. As he rose, the world shrank. Forests became threads. Cities turned to sparks. Below, men gasped. The winds cried. Even the gods fell silent. And then Zeus watched. He did not hurl a thunderbolt. He did not send a monster. He sent a whisper to Pegasus. A command, quiet and absolute. The winged horse reared in agony. Not rebellion, but sorrow. And in that moment, Bellerophon was thrown from the sky. He plummeted. No wings. No prayers. No help from gods who once favored him. He fell for what felt like eternity. Bellerophon fell, and the world forgot how high he had flown. He did not die from a fall. That was not Zeus's way. The gods do not kill arrogance. They leave alive to rot. His legs twisted beyond repair, his body a ruin. The once glorious hero who soared with Pegasus now dragged himself across the earth, blind in one eye, teeth broken, spine bent. No kingdom came to find him. No statues were raised. No songs were sung. He became a whisper, a tale mothers told their sons. Be brave like Bellerophon, but do not forget you are mortal. In solitude, Bellerophon wandered the far edges of the world. Mountains avoided. Cities passed in silence. The gods never spoke again. And yet, he never cursed them. Because in the quiet of his suffering, he understood. He was not punished for flying. He was punished for forgetting why he flew. Not to become a god, but to rise above what he had done. To make meaning of the pain that had defined his early life. But somewhere along the way, triumph became pride. And pride became blindness. And when he tried to stand among the immortals, he lost his place among men. But legends do not die. Even if the man disappears, the myth survives. Children still speak of the Chimera, of the winged horse, of the man who rose from nothing and dared to challenge fate itself. They do not remember his broken body. They remember the fire he carried.